Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is E.E.Clapp from E.E.Clapp Iron Mind Motivational Coaching. And tonight, in lieu of the storm that we had out there all last week, what was it, Hurricane Dorian, and the devastation that it did, I got to thinking about our lives, and I got to thinking about the topic of sunshine and thunderstorms. Now, I know you're asking, what do I mean by sunshine and thunderstorms? But let's think about this. I mean, all of us, we love the sun. But very few of us love the rain, and very few of us can stand to be in the rain. So my thing is, yeah, we know what we're going to do when we got the sunshine. But how are we going to respond when we have the thunderstorms that come into our life? Because all of us are going to have quite a few thunderstorms that come into our lives, and some are going to be a little stronger than others. And we got to have the ability to bounce back. But that's a veneer that has to be developed over time. That toughness has to be developed. People don't have that innately most of the time. And I'm going to give you an example about some of the thunderstorms that have come into my life and how I've overcome them. You know, I was very fortunate up until I was about 10, 11 years old. Didn't have a big family, but I had a family nonetheless, and my family really loved me. I mean, I had my mother, my father, my grandparents, my aunt, and they loved me, and I felt very protected. I mean, it was sunshine. It was bright, sunshiny Chamber of Commerce days in my life. However, that all changed starting in 1980. I was 10 and a half, 11 years old. First major thunderstorm came into my life. And my aunt Bill, that's what I call her. Her name was Wilhelmina, but I don't know, everybody called her Aunt Bill, so I called her Aunt Bill too. She got sick with pancreatic cancer. And when she was diagnosed, it was already too late. Had the surgery, and I saw her whole attitude change overnight, not only about life and everybody else involved in her life, but mainly about me. I mean, she went from where she loved me until she really didn't too much like me. You know, and I know it's from the sickness, but it was the first thunderstorm that came into my life because I hadn't experienced any kind of adverse situations. I hadn't experienced any situation that, I didn't know what to do. I hadn't experienced a situation where I didn't feel like I was loved or like I was protected. So this was the first thunderstorm that came into my life. And when she passed away, I was hurt. But little did I know, that was just the first of a long line of thunderstorms that would come into my life during those early teenage years. The very next year, September the 6th, 1981, was a day that changed my life forever. And it made me start becoming more resilient in how I dealt with life. And I went through a whole range of emotions because of this thunderstorm. I mean, on that date, September the 6th, 1981, my father was struck and killed by lightning while playing golf on the golf course. Now, I was a 12-year-old, and it was shocking. It was shocking and it was tragic. I mean, I was just entering my formative years, my preteen years, and it was a time that I could have really used my father in my life. But that didn't happen. And see, that thunderstorm continued because 2 weeks after he got killed, his mother passed away, which was my grandmama. And 2 days after the mother passed away, my grandfather passed away. So now you're talking in the span of 1.5 years, these thunderstorms have moved into my life, and they have claimed my aunt, who I loved, my father, and 2 grandparents. But the thunderstorms didn't end, people. Because a week before my father was killed, my mother found out that my other grandmother, her mother, had oral cancer, and she was living with us. So we had that thunderstorm as well. So now you got a whole tsunami of things going on. The sunshine is not there. The thunderstorms have rolled in, and they're rolling, and the lightning is flashing, and the thunder is roaring. The waves are splashing. Our lives are turned upside down. We're in turmoil. But yet and still, we put the best on the outside to try to get through these thunderstorms. And I can recall some of the ways I felt. I can recall the fear that I felt in my heart. And it was primordial fear. I trained myself how to look at my grandmother and see if she was breathing, because I was always scared that I wouldn't see her stomach or her chest move up and down. And I had to think that if I did see that, okay, this is what I'll do. This is how I'll react at 12 years old. So a few years later, my grandmother passed away. And the only people left that came out of that thunderstorm, or that line of thunderstorms, were my mother and I. And we were always close, but what that did, that galvanized us, because we'd been all through that together. And the only thing that I was really sorry about is that I was young and I couldn't do more to help my mother get through those thunderstorms. Because everybody would look from the outside looking in, and they would see us smiling. They would see us carrying on with life. But nobody knew the thunderstorms that we were going through. Nobody knew that the sunshine only peeked through the clouds every now and then. And that could have worked one or two ways, people. That could have made us fold our tents up, tuck our tails between our legs, and run. Or we'd raise our sails and we'd fight through the storm. And I can tell you through my mother's lead that we raised our sails and we fought through the storm. And eventually, the thunderclouds started to dissipate and more rays of sunshine came in. But the thing about those thunderstorms, they forever change who you are. They forever change your outlook on life. They change you dramatically, either for the better or the worse. And I can tell you that fear in me, because it was fear, a lot of times would manifest itself as meanness, would manifest itself from time to time as rage. And it wasn't because I was that, it's because I was scared. And because I had lost so much until I was scared I'd lose something else. And for the longest, until 2014, is when I got over my fear. Because see, in 2014 is when I lost my number one teammate who had been there with me through thick and thin. That's my mom. And that was the biggest storm that I had been through in my life. Now, there had been other storms there too. Let me tell you, I had a storm that happened in 2004 with my career in teaching. Everything was going fine. Everything was going hunky-dory. I accepted a new position off the PE field, and I went to this pseudo-administrative position at the school I was at. And we were trying to get drugs out of a school. They say we did it the wrong way. I went through a storm. I was vilified, ostracized, outcast, all for trying to do the right thing. And it was a storm. It was a storm because I didn't lose a job. I lost a career. And I thought it was one of the worst things that could have ever happened in my life. It was a big thunderstorm, you all, but you know what happened? It turned out to be a blessing in disguise because, see, a lot of times you think you're supposed to be a place, but that's not where you're supposed to be. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You have a higher purpose. You have a higher calling. And it doesn't have to be biblical. It doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be spiritual. It could be something else. And you don't know what that calling is, but everything that happens in your life pushes you toward that greatness, pushes you toward that calling. Because, see, you're going to have to fight through those storms and say, wait a minute, I control this. I can make a change. And that's what I had to do. And let me tell you, it was scary all along the way. People, I've been scared so much until I'm numb from fear. I can't sit here and tell you that I really get scared that much now about anything. I get concerned, but as far as fear, I don't have much of that. I think the only fear that I do have now is that I won't be the best I can be for myself. Because at the end, if it's going to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to you. You got to take those thunderstorms and transform them into sunshine. And it's never an easy process, people. You think about this. Everybody who is a great man or a great woman, everybody who's found their calling, everybody who succeeded big, have been through a multiplicity of thunderstorms. So I'm saying this to you to say that whatever you're going through now, if it is a job, if it is sickness, if it is relationship problems, financial problems, problem in your spirit, that's your thunderstorm that you're going through, people. And you're going to have to fight on through that thunderstorm. And you're going to have moments where you feel despondent. You're going to have moments where you feel major fear. You're going to have moments when you feel that everybody is against you, and a lot of times you will be right. But if you never lose the way that you feel about yourself, if you never lose that fighting spirit to go ahead and know that these thunderstorms in my life will dissipate and the sun will shine again and it'll shine brighter than ever, you're going to make it. You're going to succeed. So don't let the thunderstorms keep you down. Keep striving. Keep moving forward. Be scared if you must. But see, courage is nothing but fear that decide to keep on going. Be proud, fight, get to the top of the mountain. And when you do, look back and say, I made it. Despite all odds, despite all naysayers, despite all those thunderstorms that rolled in and rocked my boat, I made it. So I'm not going to take a long time tonight. I just wanted to pass a little tidbit to you. And before I go, you know I'm going to always tell you to be great in anything you do. Strive for greatness. Be great. And yours in life, yours in business, yours in success. Have a good night. And I'll talk to you later on in the week.